Hello everyone and welcome again to my How To Education channel. After this week's break, we are resuming today with how to study for the GRE. After watching this video, don't forget to leave me your feedback. Even though unknown to many, the GRE is a rather important exam for admission to many of the graduate programs available worldwide. The GRE can be applied as a computer-based exam or as a paper-based one. It consists of a standardized exam, testing a student's skill in the areas of verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and critical thinking and analytical writing skills. Let's take a look at each section now and see how to prepare for it. First of all, as soon as you open your exam booklet or log into the computer, you will undergo the critical thinking and analytical writing skills section. This part of the exam consists of only one section, Section 1, with two written questions. The first written question is the Analyze an Issue question. You will be allocated 30 minutes to answer the first question. It is followed by the second written question, which is the Analyze an Argument question. You will be allocated 30 minutes to answer the second question. This whole section is worth a separate score of 6 points. The Analyze an Issue first question starts with a given opinion statement or a problem. Your task will be to respond to it. That is, your task will be to explain to what extent you agree or disagree with the statement, or to what extent you agree or disagree that the issue is really a problem to be solved. You cannot simply say, I agree or I disagree. Instead, you have to list all the reasons why you agree or disagree and answer the possible arguments that people might use in order to contradict your point of view. The Analyze an Argument second question requires a different procedure. For this case, the argument is already given to you, and your job will not be to agree or disagree with it. Instead, you have to analyze how well this argument was presented. That is, let's say a student disagrees with the point of view presented in the argument. Nevertheless, this argument listed all the possible reasons as to why the author has this opinion. In addition, it answered the reader's possible objections and focused on facts rather than emotions. Thus, regardless of his or her opinion, the student will have to say that the argument was well developed. If, on the other hand, a student agrees with the argument itself, but this argument did not list all the possible reasons as to why the author has this opinion, did not answer the reader's possible objections, and focused on emotions rather than facts, the student will then have to say that the argument was not properly developed, regardless of his or her personal opinion. Some may argue that studying for the critical thinking and analytical writing skills section is not easy, since you don't get to see the opinion statement, problem statement, or argument beforehand. The path you should follow in this case is to solve previous GRE sample exams, usually found online. You could also find general argumentative topics and try to develop essays based on them. Lastly, reading argumentative essays presented by other people and analyzing their arguments is also a great idea. Remember to always time your practices to make sure that you can write within the 30 minutes allocated. After Section 1, you will have to complete Sections 2 till 6. 2 of these sections will be of verbal reasoning, and 2 of these will be of quantitative reasoning. One of these will be an unscored section of either verbal reasoning or quantitative reasoning. The purpose of the unscored section is to test new questions for the upcoming GRE examinations. Note that you have to do your best in all sections, since there is no way to know which one is the unscored one. Also note that sections 2 till 6 can come in absolutely any order, which will only be revealed to you during the exam session. The 2 sections of verbal reasoning consist of 3 types of questions: reading comprehension, text completion, and sentence equivalence. You will have 30 minutes to answer the 20 questions available in each of these sections. That is, 40 questions of verbal reasoning in a total of 60 minutes. The highest score you can get in the verbal reasoning section is 170 points. The best way to start preparing for these 2 sections is to download the GRE vocab list and try to grasp as many words as possible from it. This list can be found either online or in any practice book. The reason why you should first start preparing through the vocab is due to the fact that all types of questions that you will encounter will be much easier to solve if you have a proper background in vocab. That is, the reading comprehension questions tackle your ability to interpret a given passage and answer some questions. Most of the words present in the text are from the vocab lists and are crucial to the understanding of the passage. The text completion questions require you to fill in the blanks of a given text with the vocab words. Lastly, the sentence equivalence questions test your ability to identify which vocab words are synonyms to each other by asking you to choose 2 words from a list of words that complete the sentence by giving it the same meaning. Therefore, it is clear that by thoroughly studying only the vocab list, you're able to solve the whole 2 sections of the GRE without much trouble. Nevertheless, since the words are not that easy to be grasped, it is always a good idea to solve sample and previous GRE exams and other practice questions so as to be sure that you're able to implement your vocab knowledge when answering the questions. Lastly, the 2 sections of quantitative reasoning consist of the following types of questions: quantitative comparison questions, multiple choice questions, and numeric entry questions. This portion of the exam tackles areas such as arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. You will have 35 minutes to answer the 20 questions available in each of these sections. That is, 40 questions of quantitative reasoning in total for 70 minutes. The highest score you can get in the quantitative reasoning section of the GRE is also 170 points. Thus, the GRE has a total score of 340 points plus a separate score of 6 points for the critical thinking and analytical writing skills. Something that worked for me when I was preparing for this part of the GRE is to search for exercises specific to each area being tackled. That is, we already know that this part of the exam covers the areas of arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. So what I did was to search for the following entries: arithmetic exercises for GRE, algebra exercises for GRE, geometry exercises for GRE, and data analysis exercises for GRE. This way, I was able to find official GRE sample questions and was able to pinpoint my strengths and weaknesses since I was tackling each concept by itself. It is important to always time the practices, since there is no point in knowing everything if you cannot finish your exam on time. This video was supposed to be uploaded last weekend. The weekend videos will be posted about twice a month with the idea of tackling how-to topics that have nothing to do with math, economics, finance, or quantitative business. You can leave me suggestions of topics that you want me to speak about during weekends on the commentary section. You can also leave me more questions about how to study for the GRE and any issue that you're facing with the registration process. If you have reached the end of this, it is because the content is helpful to you somehow. So please give your friends and acquaintances the opportunity to have access to these videos by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. We will be resuming with the normal posting schedule on Monday with differentiating further trigonometric functions. Thank you so much.